Welcome to BitBoy Crypto. My name is Ben. Today we're going to be talking about Sam Bankman-Fried's bond and why this is such an important story. We're talking about some stuff that you may not actually know. And here's what I want you to take away from this video. Sam Bankman-Fried has paid nothing for his bond. Nothing. It's unreal when you unwrap this story. Did they Photoshop this guy? What is up? Okay, guys, this is a story on CoinDesk by James Murphy. It's called Bankman-Fried's Incredible Shrinking $250 million Bond. And there's several points that, I want to hit here. Number one here, we've got this. Bankman-Fried got out of jail by posting a gargantuan, unprecedented $250 million bond. It was the largest pretrial bond ever. Unbelievable, right? But in fact, it's a lot less. Now, I've been hearing people everywhere saying, oh, well, $250 million, they only got to pay 10%, blah, blah, blah. Well, let's take a look at that, guys. In a typical federal case, a bail bondsman would charge between 10 to 15% of the amount in cash. And I've been trying to figure out who would take on $225 million in cash. In the case of Bankman-Fried's astronomical bond, 15% would be $37.5 million. But he didn't pay $37.5 million. In fact, he paid no cash at all. This is unbelievable when you start to break this down. There's a second way to acquire a bail bond. A defendant or someone on their behalf, which we'll probably in another video look at some other people that may be behind this. But they may pledge collateral. So the defendant fails to appear, the pledged collateral or mostly property is forfeited to the court. That would mean he would need a benefactor to step up and pledge property worth $250 million to get the bond. But that also did not happen. Now let's talk about his parents, Alan Joe Bankman and Barbara Fried. We got a lot more on them in a future video this week. Instead, his parents promised to pledge collateral for their Palo Alto home. It's $4 million. Now, the question is, was this home paid for with FTX funds, with customer funds? That's something else to pay attention to. So no other collateral other than that $4 million was posted or promised. So what does that $250 million mean? This is unbelievable. People do not have a clue what is happening here, okay? He was not required to post a conventional bail bond. Instead, he was simply released from custody on something called a personal recognizance bond, okay? The personal recognizance bond contains Bankman-Fried's solemn promise. We're going on a solemn promise and his parents' promise. We know they're all super honest, right? To pay the court $250 million if he fails to show up for the trial at the appointed time. Now, why would the court accept this from someone who is a total liar? Well, we go back to this Bitcoin address right here that we have found, we have isolated. We believe that this is Sam Bankman-Fried's personal Bitcoin wallet that comes from, there is another one that we showed earlier in a video on Friday. You can go back and watch that on Friday night. It had several $1 billion on the day he was extradited, okay, or on the day he was supposed to be extradited on the 19th, after he talked to his lawyers via phone in the courtroom, suddenly $236 million shows up. Absolutely unbelievable. Hard to imagine, hard to fathom, and yet here it is. It has happened. So, in my opinion, I think the court knows he has this money. Do they know it's customer funds? I mean, surely they're not idiots. Surely they do. This is why that $236 million was moved. It's the collateral. They're saying, okay, well, we can't, there's probably no precedent for having this backed up. And you say, well, why would someone allow that? Why would someone allow that in a court? Especially when, who would have thought the Bahamas would have stricter bail laws for financial fraud in the United States? Well, then we get into this story here, which is SBF's judge steps down, cites conflict of interest. Judge Abrams, Ronnie Abrams, recused herself due to potential conflict of interest involving husband's firm and past work with FTX. SBF partner Ellison pleads guilty, yada, yada, yada. A series of legal developments have occurred in the case involving Sam Bankman-Fried and the bankrupt exchange FTX. Judge Ronnie Adams has recused herself due to a potential conflict of interest involving her husband's law firm, which had previously advised FTX. Now, they advised FTX on the potential acquisition of BlockFi. So she stepped down now. But even though she stepped down, the bond stands because she said it. And now, once again, you start to see the topsy-turvy world of politics and lawyers and securities lawyers and fraud and how they're so entangled, it's hard to separate who the frauds are from who the heroes are. Sam Bankman-Fried, most definitely a fraud. His parents also most definitely frauds. And we're going to continue to track this story. And I can tell you, we are going to continue to watch this wallet. And as soon as there's any movement in this wallet, you can guarantee we'll be on it. That's all I got. Be blessed. BitBoy out.